Ciao a tutti, Alex here from OPTIMAE, and I just want to share a couple of insights about what makes a successful language learner. And I'm not talking about special brain wiring or being raised bilingual. I'm talking about things that you can actually control and change in order to have more success in your language learning. And I've boiled it down to two main concepts that I think make the difference. And the first one is intention and how that affects your motivation. And the second has to do with methodology, or rather, why it's more important to learn how to teach and assess yourself than it is to rely on any one methodology or teacher in particular. So, what do I mean by intention? Whether we're conscious of it or not, for every action there's an underlying intention that's motivating it. And the same action can have wildly different outcomes depending on the intention, and the degree to which we're connected to the intention can either be very motivating or not very motivating. So let's take doing the dishes as an example. I can do the dishes with the intention of not looking like a slob in front of guests that are about to come over, or I can do the dishes with the intention of beautifying my living space. Now, how we look and appear to others can be a powerful motivating force at times, and I know I've done some of my best cleaning when guests were on their way. But what happens when there are no guests coming over and there's nobody there to judge me? Which do you think will be a more motivating intention in the long run or consistently? And especially when it's not glamorous work. Let's say I know I have an especially stuck-on cheesy casserole dish that awaits me. I'm obviously more likely to do the action with the second intention because I am the one creating and seeing the value for myself. And it doesn't matter who is there to judge me or who's there to look at me, it's coming from within. And I'm also deeply connected to that. I know I want to live in a beautiful space, so doing the dishes seems like a small price to pay for that deep intention. So the same thing is true for language learning. And I bring this up because too often I hear people express in so many words this concept, which is, I would love to learn Italian or a language because it would be fun to show people at parties, or I would love to go to the country and impress them and maybe make them think I'm a native speaker because I speak so well. And like I said, how we appear to others can be motivating at times. But what happens when there's nobody there to judge? What happens when I'm not at a party and I can't impress people? Or what happens when, despite my efforts, I don't have a perfect accent, they don't mistake me for a native speaker, and when I go to speak, they're not really that impressed. So you need to connect to a deeper intention, and that deeper intention will motivate you no matter what the outcome is, whether or not you impress people or whether or not the activity you need to do is glamorous. So I know for me personally, I really love the Italian culture and language, and I love the Italian people. So I really do want to hear what the Italian person has to say. I want to be able to think about it, and I want to be able to respond and have a meaningful connection. I also love to travel to Italy, so I want to make that as fun and easy as possible. Instead of worrying about, how do you say that? I want to just be free to say what I want to say and go and do the things I want to do. And then finally, I also appreciate the cognitive benefits of learning a language. I like the idea that it challenges my brain and it allows me to see the world in a different way. To see it through the Italian lens is very fun and empowering. So those three deep intentions motivate me a lot. They motivate me to do activities that aren't that fun sometimes, and they motivate me to keep trying no matter how I look to others. So it doesn't matter if I'm not perfect because I was able to connect in that last conversation, and that's fun and inspiring and motivating. So having a deep intention is important, and it's important that you connect really deeply with yours. So if some of the ones I said don't personally speak to you, find one that really does and that's motivating to you. So once we have our really deep motivation in place, then we need to talk about how am I going to focus my attention and my energy? What activities am I actually going to do? And there's a lot of debate in the language learning community about the best method. So, you need to learn like a child, and here's this immersion program. Or, this book is the best. It has it the easiest way, and you only need 10 minutes a day. Or, this software, or, this book, this. So there's a lot of different methodologies out there. And I think the key to sorting through all that is to, again, go back to a more deep and meaningful connection, and that is to yourself. So trust in yourself to be the teacher that you need, and trust in yourself to assess what's working and what isn't. And once you do that, once you know that you are just testing everything out and that ultimately you know what you need, you can draw from this methodology and take something that works, and then you can draw from this one and take something that works. And instead of seeing it as a chore, it becomes a creative activity. So you are actively participating in your studies and you're creating whatever thing you want to do that day. So maybe sometimes it'll be you do a little language immersion, maybe someday it'll be a conversation, maybe someday it'll be doing grammar drills because that's what you feel you need that day. And it becomes fun because you are creating it. So combining our deep personal motivation along with our creative expression and trusting in ourselves to be our best teacher, that to me is what Via OPTIMAE means. That is the fun way to learn a language. So I'll provide the resources and the ideas and the encouragement, and you bring your deep intention and trust in yourself, and together we can do it. You can learn a language. Dai, iniziamo. Let's get started. Non vedo l'ora.